Today I want to show you how to create your very first AI art image step by step without overthinking it. If you've watched the previous videos of mine, you already know this, but I want to say it again anyway. Okay, you do not need to be artistic. You do not need to be technical, and you do not need to know everything before you start. Some of the best things about AI art is that all we need to do is just start. A lot of people get stuck at this stage because they feel like they have to pick the perfect tool or learn the right way to prompt before they ever generate an image. How do you learn if you don't practice? Before I get started, I really want to be clear. A lot of these tools that I talk about, like Ideogram and Midjourney, have a subscription model where it's annual or monthly or use tokens, whatever. One that I'm going to be focusing on, at least in this video, and mostly throughout the use of this channel, is Artistly. I really like Artistly. For me, it was a one-time purchase point. I'm not sure if they're going to go to a subscription plan or not. I liked them because it was one-time fee for the life of the item, and it was like unlimited, right? Everything's unlimited. They also have they have a whole bunch of different things in their tool set. Inside of Artistly alone is so much, but they also have like a video option and so on and so forth. We'll talk about that later. This video is not sponsored by them at all. I am just telling you like what my favorite tools are and why I use them, how I use them. But again, Ideogram, Midjourney, most of those types of programs have a free trial or something like that for you to be learning on. Artistly does not. However, I hope to show you enough inside of my own videos that you can kind of see if you want to try it or not, right? So I do want to talk though about that because a lot of people don't have money. And so if they don't have enough money when they're especially starting out in the digital creator space or in the marketing space, that does cost money to use these programs. And so for things like, if you want to do blog post images, some of these are like, okay, yeah, I can afford $10 a month or whatever, but the annual fee ends up being like over $100 for some of these. And then you're limited on what you do monthly. That's one reason why I really encourage looking at Artistly, checking out the pricing point, and seeing if it's something that you like because it's a one-time fee for unlimited images as of the time of this video, okay? Again, I don't know what their plans are. I'm hoping that they don't pull an Adobe, but I would really like it if they went with an affinity style model for their business, the one-time fee unlimited for the rest of the time. I think that would be really helpful for me as someone who is encouraging purchasing this product. So let's hope that they do that, okay? So let's go back to the perfect tool or learn the right way to prompt because you don't need to be perfect when you're starting, okay? And these programs I'm going to be talking about help it so that that is not necessary. Today, the goal is not perfection. The goal is just to create your first usable image or to practice if you have been confused before. Once you have that, everything else gets easier. I want to talk briefly about the 3 tools that I recommend most often for beginners. I mentioned them already, but let's go over them again. Artistly, Ideogram, and Midjourney. All 3 are great, all 3 can work, and you don't need to use all of them at once, okay? Artistly is the one I personally recommend, like I stated before, because we're starting with it if you want the lowest learning curve, and again, keeping your prices optimal. Artistly is very beginner friendly, it's fast, it's consistent, it's unlimited, and it's designed with creators in mind. We're gonna get into that. If your goal is to create things like digital products, graphics, merch designs, or marketing visuals, Artistly removes a lot of the friction that overwhelms beginners, and as we get further into the program, you're going to be amazed at all the things that it can actually do. Ideogram is another great option, especially if you want clean designs or text inside images. It's very forgiving and works well for things like quotes, journal pages, planner elements. I love it for using ads. I also agree with blog posts and stuff from it. Midjourney is more artistic and detailed. It's incredible for illustrations, cozy scenes, and aesthetic visuals. But it can feel like a whole bunch when you're brand new trying to figure things out in there. But that's why for this video, I want to focus on Artistly as your starting point, while keeping Ideogram and Midjourney in mind as tools you can grow into. Now, if you are already comfortable with Midjourney and Ideogram, awesome, awesome, awesome. We're going to be talking about prompting, and the prompting works in all 3. However, I am going to be showing you in Artistly, and maybe you'll want to move your subscription money over from Ideogram or Midjourney and put them into Artistly, okay? So let's walk through this slowly. The first thing you want to do is decide what you're actually creating. Now, you can see that I'm inside of Artistly, and I'm inside of the AI Image Designer version 6. See all of these options here across the top? These are very important to keep in mind as we are looking for the very first thing that we want to do, right? We need to decide what we're actually creating. The worst thing you can do is go into any AI art program and just willy-nilly. Like, what are you creating it for? What are you doing? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually decide that, and not in a vague way, but in a practical way. Okay. So for instance, are we going to be working in here with the AI image designer? Are we going to be creating from a prompt? Are we going to be doing artistic designer, photorealism? Like, what are we doing? An animal? Are we doing patterns? What are we doing? Okay, so we have to figure that out. Once you select that, and it's not vague, but we've picked this out. And the best way to do this is just to say, what am I making this image for? Is it for a journal cover? Is it a printable? Is it a sticker? Is it a social media graphic? Am I making a product mock-up? What is it exactly that I'm doing? This matters because AI art works best when it has a purpose, like we've talked about before. For this example, let's say you're creating a cozy fall journal. Okay, that's very common digital product use case, and it works well for beginners. Now we're going to build a prompt. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to select one that I want to do. And again, that's not in this specific section, but I'm going to actually go into the artistic designer version 2. And then here it brings me down to the prompt. Now it already knows that I want it artistic, okay? Now I'm going to build this prompt, and I want to keep this extremely simple. Remember, keeping it simple is important. You do not need a long prompt. You need 3 things, again, to talk about. First, we're going to describe the subject. Something like a cozy fall illustration of books. We're going to put that in here. Of books, a warm coffee mug, and autumn leaves. Second, pick a style. As you can see in my example, we're talking about illustration. Okay, so just one example. So I would say in this one, it's a fall illustration. You could say watercolor illustration, hand-drawn cozy illustration. I went with cozy fall illustration, okay? And third, we're going to add the purpose. So this is where beginners skip a step, and it makes a huge difference, okay? So I'm actually going to say for journal cover, okay? Now, you can add something to it, like designed as a journal cover, or as you saw what I said, for a journal cover. You could even say for a printable journal cover, like whatever, that's it, okay? I'm not gonna put any text in it, but you could, and that is a complete beginner prompt. You're not writing a paragraph, you're giving clear instructions, okay? Now, when you enter that into Artistly, you generate your image. I really want to be clear on this section. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to select my aspect ratio, and I have other videos that talk more about aspect ratio. I'm gonna go with a 3:4 right now. And then I'm going to choose my quantity is going to be 4. So I have something to choose from. Midjourney and Ideogram automatically give you 4 options right out of the gate. In Artistly, you need to select how many you want, 1 through 4. Okay, and you can put it into folders in private. We'll get into that later. But for right now, this is what I want to do. And I'm going to select generate image. While that is generating the image, I'm going to talk to you about something a little bit more important that I want you to hear. Okay, your first image does not need to be perfect. All right, it doesn't. In fact, it probably won't be. And that's okay. That's nothing wrong with the program. It's AI art is iterative, meaning it's alive, right? You generate it, you look at it, you decide what you like, you tweak one thing, maybe you adjust the style, maybe you add soft lighting, maybe you change the mood to warm and cozy. Like there's so many, maybe I want blues in there, but the small changes are powerful, okay? And this is where a lot of beginners get discouraged, but this is actually where the magic happens. Again, you're not failing and your program's not failing. You're refining the product, okay? That's really important. Okay, now we're gonna take a second and we're gonna look at the options that Artistly is giving me. It's usually pretty fast, but right now it's lagging because of course I am recording and my computer is the one that is going slow and it's overthinking everything. But as you can see, I did say warm fall cozy. And so it's given me these fall colors that I really like. And it's more of an illustration, even though it feels a little bit more like an illustrated photo, which is fine. I am on board with that. I love it. I love the mug. I love the colors. If I wanted to go in and change something, I could. I could ask for some blues, highlight some things in there. I like this one, I think, the best. Wow, that is just awesome. I love the white mug because it really stands out. And I can always add text because I'm going to edit this image later. I don't agree with using AI art right out of the gate just as it is. I believe in adding a human element to every piece that we use, okay? So once you have an image you like, the next step is not to overanalyze it. The next step is to use it in some way. This is where AI art becomes incredibly powerful for digital creators, you guys, okay? That one image can become part of a journal cover. It can become a printable page. It can become a mock-up for something. It can become a social media post. You can use it in ads or a product listing image. You don't need 10 images to start. You just need one usable one. And this is also where the marketing starts to come into play as well. AI art isn't just about creating products, okay? It's about creating visual consistency. And I've talked about this before, and here's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a marketing and ad expert position. I'm a strategist. I know what I'm doing. I spend millions a month on ads and on marketing, and I know what works, okay? And creating consistency between your marketing, whether it's paid ads or your newsletter or just something you put on social media, it's all about being consistent from that to your actual product landing page, okay? So the only way to generate sales is to make sure that you are keeping things consistent. And when your images, let's say they match your niche, they match your brand style, they match what your audience is looking for, they match your product type, your brand looks more professional instantly, which also increases trust, okay? And this is why AI art is such a powerful tool for creators and marketers. It removes the bottleneck. You're no longer waiting to feel inspired, and you're no longer stuck because you can't design, okay? You're no longer delaying product ideas because the visuals feel hard. You are actually creating. So you're creating these images, you test these images, you adjust, and there's not a lot of time put into it, okay? And that's how real digital businesses are built. So if you're starting from a blank page that it still feels intimidating, that's okay. It's completely normal. That's why I created the 100 free AI art bundle. It gives you ready-made examples of AI art that actually works, so you can study them, use them, and build confidence faster, okay? It's all about speed in this increasingly fast digital age. You can download the bundle below and start experimenting without pressure. And if you want fresh themed AI art every month that's already organized and ready to use for products or marketing, that's exactly what the AI Art Club is for. Come and join us in our Facebook group. Everything is linked below. We talk about all types of things, and I have a lot of freebies, guys. But again, the AI art bundle is where I think you should start. In the next video, we're going to take this a step further and talk about how to turn AI art into actual sellable digital products without making things complicated. If you're brand new to AI art, you're doing exactly what you should be doing right now, okay? Go slow. Get to know your program. Keep it simple and just get started, okay? And again, Artistly is my favorite for that because it's unlimited and you can learn and you're not using up your tokens. I'll see you in the next video. Let's talk more then.